Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is the 20th of March 2025 and here are the top crypto news stories. We'll start in America, where former President Donald Trump will speak at the Digital Asset Summit, making him the first US president to address a cryptocurrency conference. The event is taking place today, and some speculate that he will make a major announcement, though he may also choose to say nothing significant. Moving on, we turn to Mr. Tom Emmer, who has stated that the proposed 1 million Bitcoin deposit will be implemented within the framework of the upcoming Congress. As the Vice President of the Digital Asset Commission, he believes that the strategic plan for the US to acquire 1 million BTC will take effect before the end of this Congress. In a recent statement, he confirmed, "Yes, there is legislation, and I believe it will be implemented before the completion of Congress." As you can see, this is very positive news. For our final piece of US related news, we turn to North Carolina, which has introduced a bill to make Bitcoin a strategic reserve asset. This bill would allow the state to invest up to 10% of its available capital in Bitcoin for long-term strategic holdings. Now, shifting to corporate news, we focus on BlackRock. Its CEO has recently defended Bitcoin, stating in a CNBC interview that the crypto industry often portrays Bitcoin as a high-risk asset despite its global scarcity and full decentralization. BlackRock digital asset CEO Robert Mitchnick emphasized that true high-risk investments typically result in economic losses for investors, something Bitcoin has not demonstrated over the long term. Turning to ETFs, we have seen positive inflows over the last 4 days. Data from March 17th and 18th shows inflows exceeding $200 million, which is a promising trend. Additionally, Volatility Shares is set to launch a futures ETF for Solana on March 20th, not just one, but two. The Volatility Shares Solana ETF and the Volatility Shares 2x Solana ETF will include automatic 2x leverage. Great news for Solana. Now, let's talk about how many companies are holding Bitcoin. In 2025, 80 publicly traded companies have invested in BTC, marking a 142% increase compared to previous years. Publicly owned Bitcoin holdings have surged by 142%, rising from 33 in 2023. This growth is driven by strategic investments, economic shifts, and other factors. Given this trajectory, the number is expected to keep rising over time. Moving on to stablecoins, we have two interesting studies. The first reports that stablecoin users have increased by 53% in a year. The number of active stablecoin wallets jumped from 19.6 million in February 2024 to over 30 million in February 2025, according to the report linked below in the description. Meanwhile, 70% of crypto payments in the European Union are used for retail purchases, including food and beverages. In addition, 26% of crypto transactions are for tourism-related expenses, such as shopping, hotels, and other services. Notably, 92% of these transactions are made using USDT, a stablecoin that has not yet received official approval from the European Union. However, European citizens continue to use it extensively. More information can be found in this study, which I will include below in the description. For today's crypto update, we turn to XRP, which has gained 11.4% on the 7-day chart. The reason? The case has finally ended. As the CEO of XRP announced, he stated that he can now officially confirm the case is over. This was announced in the video currently on your screen.
As many of you know, just over 4 years ago, the United States SEC filed its lawsuit against Ripple. I'm finally able to announce that this case has ended. It's over.
The full video, which lasts 4 minutes, will be linked in the description if you want to hear his full statement. However, the case has officially ended, which is why XRP is celebrating. That said, there is still one small but significant detail. As Mr. John Deaton, lawyer for XRP, pointed out, there remains a $125 million ruling against Ripple regarding the sale of XRP. The company may now have the opportunity to negotiate this decision, as the SEC has abandoned its lawsuit. This outcome is highly likely, and let's just say that this move by the SEC was in its own best interest, as the company Binomial has also withdrawn its license for the SEC. This company had its own product related to XRP, which could not be launched as long as the SEC maintained its negative stance and lawsuit against XRP. However, now that the SEC has withdrawn its case, Binomial has also lifted its objections, allowing the product to be released as planned. Now, moving to the crypto market, Bitcoin currently stands at $86,000 after previously reaching a high of $87,000. The main reason? First, the Fed has kept interest rates stable, which was expected. However, the most significant factor was Mr. Powell's reassurance in his speech that there will be 2 interest rate cuts in 2025. Exactly what the market wanted to hear. As a result, Bitcoin and traditional markets reacted positively. That said, Bitcoin has not yet broken through our resistance level and has retraced to $86,000. Beyond the US, we see similar trends in other major economies such as Japan, which also kept its interest rate stable, and China's central bank, which followed suit. It appears that the world's major economies are currently aligned in their approach. That wraps up the top news for crypto today. Is the 20th of March 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.